Do you want to speak better English? Beyond Norm Topicmaster can help. Let's dive into today's topic.
Today we're jumping into a really interesting exploration of social connection. We're going to analyze 10 thought-provoking topics all about friendship. Our sources cover quite a range, from personal history stuff to modern research on digital intimacy. Okay, so let's unpack this. Our goal here isn't just to skim the surface. We want to really dig into the essential DNA of our social bonds, kind of pull out what makes a relationship stick, what makes it meaningful. We're really looking at the whole story these connections tell.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how these questions really push you towards self-awareness. You can't analyze the data here without starting with, who you are socially.
Right, and that kicks off with question 1. How would people who actually know you describe you socially? The point here isn't just like listing adjectives. It's about getting to a balanced self-view, naming the things that help you connect. Maybe you're enthusiastic, but also being honest about traits that sometimes get in the way. Maybe you're relying too much on routine.
Exactly, and connecting that to the bigger picture, that self-knowledge gets tested right away with question 2. What's your essential definition of a good friend? Our sources keep pointing to this. The key thing isn't just shared history, it's consistent, active investment. A true friend gives you that honest feedback, maybe holds you accountable in ways an acquaintance just wouldn't.
Okay, so if we know who we are and what makes a good friend, then question 3 is the natural next step. It's about the chemistry. What turns those strangers, classmates, coworkers into close friends? Is it shared interests? Values? Just routine?
Well, the research often suggests it's less about the interest itself and more about the shared experience around it. Like a colleague becomes a real friend when you go beyond just office chat. Maybe you share something vulnerable, or maybe it's a specific repeated routine outside of work, which leads us right into question 4 about permanence.
Ah, yes, permanence.
Yeah.
How long is your longest friendship? And this is crucial. What specific thing has kept it strong all that time? And looking at the analysis, the biggest predictor isn't just how long you've known someone, it's that consistent, active effort, like you said, investment. This idea that friendships need, regular maintenance. So why do our sources push us to spend time on question 5, that unforgettable childhood friendship?
Because that childhood bond. It's often our very first blueprint for attachment. It sets up those initial dynamics, trust, maybe disappointment, things that become really formative for our adult relationships. We don't just remember the fun parts. We remember the foundational emotional lessons.
Okay, here's where things get really interesting as we shift into the digital age. Question 6, online friends. Why do we even form friendships with people we haven't met offline? What needs do these friendships actually meet?
Often it's about finding something niche, maybe satisfying a need for intellectual connection that your immediate geographical circle just doesn't offer. People sometimes find more acceptance online for specific hobbies or points of their identity, partly thanks to that layer of, anonymity.
And that anonymity can lead straight into question 7, which is a sensitive one. Online romance. When people develop romantic feelings online, what are the factors? And importantly, what are the specific risks and benefits? You often see this rapid emotional intimacy develop, which can feel great, but the risk is huge projecting an ideal onto someone you haven't actually, reality tested in person.
Which brings up a really fundamental question about the technology itself. That's question 8. How have smartphones and the internet brought people closer or maybe created more distance? And for this one, you really need to reflect on both sides. Yes, we can connect globally now, which is amazing, but there's also that potential for local distraction, isolation, even. You see it when devices get prioritized over the people right in front of you.
Definitely. Question 9 gets reflective. It asks you to think about a friend you've lost touch with. And the analysis needed here is about the cause. Why did the distance happen? Was it geography? Did your values just drift apart? Life stages? And critically, could that connection potentially be rebuilt? Often the sources suggest, yes, rebuilding is possible, but only if you actually address why you drifted apart in the first place.
Right, you have to be honest about it. And finally, we hit boundaries with question 10. Can people maintain a deep platonic friendship with someone of a different gender? The data seems to say overwhelmingly, yes, it's possible. But success really hinges on transparency and setting clear boundaries. Often, the biggest challenge isn't the friendship itself. It's managing how other people see it, or dealing with potential romantic feelings, either yours, theirs, or imagined ones from outside.
So, wrapping this all up, what does it mean? When you analyze these 10 areas, you're not just listing facts about your social life, you're actually building a whole narrative about friendship's role in our changing world, adding nuance with each answer.
Join Beyond Norm today, the best way to master English.